For more information on our services, visit our website at mancinilegal.com. Your first choice lawyers across Sussex.
Mancini Legal presents The Late Night Lawyer, transmitted across the airwaves on your social media channels and podcasts. We are The Late Night Lawyer.
Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, welcome to The Late Night Lawyer Show. The date today is the 3rd of June 2020. God, we're flying into the summer already. I hope you're all well. Welcome to the show. We've got a real action-packed show this evening for you with a special guest, which I'm going to go into detail shortly. So, obviously on the back of the Prime Minister's amendments this week, we obviously see the lockdown easing a bit more as we go into next week, with now having the ability to meet in groups of 6, which is really positive for the country as a whole. As I know personally, speaking to a lot of people, there's been a lot of struggles during this lockdown process, so it's good to see some easing of the actual rules and of the lockdown requirements. And added into that, it's positive to see these infection rates start to now slowly come down over time, which is extremely positive. Not to obviously take away the thousands of people that have lost their lives through this ordeal and through this this whole pandemic. Obviously, they are all in our thoughts and prayers, as are all the family members that have been affected by this. At this point, another part of encouragement, it's good to see that business is slowly starting to react to the lockdown easing. And I think a lot of people, obviously, as well as myself, are starting to see the visibility of more people and more commotion through our high streets, which obviously, we pray for these people that have been affected in any way, including people that have been affected by loss of jobs, loss of income. We hope this all starts to turn around for everybody as a whole. So, who have we got tonight? Last week, actually, during one of my global business networking sessions, I met an incredible guy, actually. His name is Buscema. He's an attorney who is based in Udine, Italy. And he is an extremely inspirational person who's a personal injury lawyer and focuses very heavily on business networking and looking after the business community. He's recently set up and created something that no other person has managed to think of. He's created a network of global private lawyers. There's approximately 130 in the group, and the network is called WIL. So it's a Worldwide Independent Lawyer League, and it's incredible. It's made up of a massive league of top lawyers across the world, including myself. And we meet regularly to discuss latest developments in our own legal field, and we pass referrals to each other. So basically, under this new network, that a client will always be catered for no matter what country they are in. So the concept is phenomenal, and I've got him on the show today to actually run through this concept. So before we get to Marco, a little bit more about him. He was born in 1973 in Udine, which is the northeast of Italy. He has Sicilian parents. He obtained his law degree in Trieste in Italy. He was a claims manager for 7 years in a major Italian insurance company. He then went on to be the purchase chief department for a German and then French multinational company. He's a lawyer and qualified since 2010. And he's been involved in BNI for nearly 5 years, which is Business Networking International. For the listeners who have not come across BNI before, it's a huge organization which works for business networking. His motto is, "I don't stop when I'm tired, I stop when I'm done." Amazing. Ladies and gentlemen, I welcome Marco Buscema to the Late Night Lawyer Show.
This is the Late Night Lawyer, midweek edition.
I welcome Marco to the show. Marco, for the benefit of the listeners, just give them a bit of an overview about yourself, what you do, and welcome to the show.
Thank you, Alessandro. Thank you very much for this opportunity to share. I am Marco Buscema. I am an Italian attorney. I live in Udine, northeast of Italy. Today is our day of celebration. We've celebrated the Republic, the Day of the Republic, the Italian Republic. So it's a celebration day. I am a personal injury attorney, and most things I will say afterwards come from that background. And I'm very happy to be here and to share this interview with you. I've been an attorney for 10 years now, and I worked 10 years more for companies as a claims manager in major Italian insurance companies. So that's my background. I'm also a football referee. I'm also keen on Cuban salsa dance.
Fantastic.
Yeah, so to complete my background.
Yeah, very complete. So thank you, Marco. So before the interview, before obviously you came on air, I gave the listeners a quick overview about Will, about your concept regarding networking. It's an incredible concept. It's fantastic. And I think it's already proving to give some benefit to a lot of lawyers and attorneys around the world. Where did your idea of Will come from? Just for the benefit of
Yes, thank you. The idea comes from my personal story, because I'm a personal injury attorney, because I myself suffered a very bad traffic accident 23 years ago. I was in Turkey. I was a student. I was part of an international group of students, and our bus had a crash. Unfortunately, 7 people died there, and I can say that we didn't get proper legal assistance that night in Turkey, in Istanbul. And so something clicked in my soul that night. And there, something, the universe told me that I could help students, some in despair, somewhere in the death of night, somewhere in the world. But of course, I'm an expert in Italian insurance law, and I am an Italian personal injury. So in order to help students, it's my personal why, students and individuals in abroad, I need the expertise of foreign lawyers, foreign attorneys. So that's why I wanted to create an wide international network of lawyers around the globe, and that is the beginning of the story, of WIL story. WIL stands for Worldwide Independent Lawyers League, and it's a brand new logo, brand new. That's a very new brand, and but the story starts 23 years ago.
It's amazing. I mean, it's an amazing story, and I think the actual concept is incredible, because I've been involved in it myself, and seeing 130 lawyers in a room, fantastic. I mean, you should be very proud of your achievement. I mean, what's your vision? What's your vision, Marco, of WIL?
The vision of WIL is given. Just in order to not to make any mistakes, I would like to. It's better for me to read it. It's very. It's brief but impactant. Vision of WIL is democratizing the global. To democratize the highest quality legal protection. So we, with all the colleagues, we dream of a world where the highest quality legal protection is democratized and easily accessible globally for each individual company or entity. That's the vision. And the vision of this, of course, the vision comes from a personal story, but of course, it's also something that can help business and businessmen and business people, specifically now, where the situation is companies, small, mid-sized companies, need to have access in any ways to even higher quality legal protection than in the past, because now exporting will be the key factor, expanding the business will be key factor, but in a affordable and negotiable way, also for the legal expenses. It doesn't mean low cost, but it means that entrepreneurs should have the possibility to speak to consultants also about the costs they have to step.
Thank you, Marco. Thank you. I mean, just leading on to that, I think you've just touched on it. We're obviously at the moment in a global crisis, just coming out of it slowly. I mean, from your point of view, why do you think lawyers need to change their way of working in the economic framework? I mean, obviously, Italy has been really badly affected by COVID-19, as has England. I mean, what's your thoughts?
Yeah, I mean, I can speak very precisely about the Italian legal market, legal situation. Here in Italy, we have 250,000 lawyers, and many of them are focused on their own backyard, and they serve clients focusing on the output and not on the outcome. That's a very big difference. So lawyers, I remember when I was a student, at the beginning of my school career, a teacher gave me a bad mark. In Italy, we have from 1 to 10. So, it's 4 for you today. Oh, come on. I answered to the teacher, hey, I studied a lot for this test, for this exam. Yes, okay, I believe you. I believe that you studied a lot, but your performance is very disappointing today. So the mark is low. So that's why am I telling this story? Because lawyers normally, on average, think in this way. Oh, I worked a lot for you, my client, so my fee is very high. But yeah, okay, but the outcome is poor. I lost a lot of things. A lot of my business is disrupted. Okay, but I worked a lot, so I deserve to be paid. Lawyers should focus on creating value, not on billing working hours to the clients, specifically now, and specifically to the small, mid-sized companies.
And I think it's very important, obviously, linking with that. It's all down to client care, isn't it, at the end of the day? And that's what we're all focusing on, and ensuring that client is looked after from start to finish. Vital.
Agree. Yeah.
But from your point of view, why do you think that the highest quality of legal service should be democratized? And how do you think that can be achieved?
I mean, the concept of will, stands exactly there. I mean, normally when small and mid-sized companies have already their local law firm, and local law firm is very good. The local law firm can provide agile, flexible, accessible, affordable services. But sometimes they are not skilled, they are not widespread, they haven't the proper connections around the globe to serve their clients, specifically small and mid-sized. They can't serve the clients for specific international matters, for example. So sometimes these local firms send their clients to the big international ones. The big international ones, on the other hand, are very skilled, are very good law firms. I'm not saying something different. Okay, but since our target, my target with this aggregation of lawyers is the small mid-sized company. Normally, the big international law firm are like a Ferrari to be bought to do the shopping, to go to the supermarket. So it's related to the segment of the market. And between the local law firm and the big law firm, there is a gap in the market. And it could be filled by an aggregation of independent lawyers, keeping their attitude to be agile and flexible for the clients, but connected in a network, in a committed and devoted network. Most part of us are BNI members, an entrepreneurial organization, and so we share values. We share these kind of values, very important. In this way, we can democratize the legal service. So the mid-sized entrepreneur can have access to the senior partner of a law firm. And in the same time, this law firm is small, could be local, French. I say small law firms, but the French are the best for marketing in the world. So they don't say small law firm, they say boutique law firm. Much better. It's much better. It sounds good. So the entrepreneurs can have access to the boutique law firms, but these boutique law firms, independent, stay in a wide global network. So we can match the two goods, the agility, flexibility, having access to the senior partners in a law firm, and at the same time, taking advantage of the connections of the network worldwide. That's a way to democratize the legal service.
Excellent. Thank you, Marco. It's fascinating development. And I have said to my listeners as well that I hope to have you back on the show as well, just so in the up and coming months, so we can see how this develops, because I think there's going to be a huge development in this. So
sure.
It's really, really exciting, really exciting. Can you tell me some success stories?
Yes, actually, how much time do you have? I mean, I would stay.
Yeah, we're good on time.
Hours.
Yeah, definitely.
Okay, so,
yeah.
But I would need 3 hours, but I think we don't have 3 hours. So we have many success stories relating to, since we want to provide legal services to make the legal service more accessible, not only to companies, but also to individuals and entities in general. We have some stories, very emotional stories. The most emotional stories are related to family law and family law, or freedom of the individuals. So we had 1 year ago, we had a story. I got a message on Saturday afternoon from our North Macedonian colleague Mirjana, and they wrote me, "Hey, I have a problem. I need a Portuguese legal assistance." And so I told her, "Okay, we have Nelson Pereira in Lisbon." "Yes, because my client is getting to Portugal because they have to free a baby who lives with a violent man." "Okay, so call Nelson. He's good for you." So I called Nelson. Nelson was in a wedding. But once I wrote to him, "Hey, it's urgent. Please take a few minutes from the ceremony." He was not the man who was marrying, but so he was an invited there. So he contacted a lawyer, a Portuguese lawyer living in Oporto, and this lawyer was waiting for this lady on Sunday at the airport. So they went together to the house of this man with the police, with an order of a judge, obliging this man to release the baby. And so it was amazing. Organizing for 1 hour from the Saturday to the Sunday. So for one day for another. It's one story.
It illustrates the power, doesn't it? This really illustrates the power of how this can work.
The power and the devotion of the people.
Yeah,
we are here.
Absolutely.
How can help you is our favorite question. Also, as WIL members and BNI members. But another it's a very nice story. It's all the details I'm telling you in 1 second. All the details are real. Also in the names, I can tell the names of the lawyers, not of the clients, of course, but it was Sunday morning, and it is my day off in Italy, and I was sleeping at 6 in the morning, and Yossi Weinrauch called me, and he told me, hey, I have a big problem with one of my best clients in the law firm for a visa expiration issue. He's detained in Mexico, and the police are aggressive with him. He doesn't speak Spanish. The police don't speak English to him, and he doesn't want any Mexican lawyers sent randomly by the Israeli consulate. So he called me in Israel. He wants me to send him a Mexican lawyer of my trust. So please, Marco, help me. So I called Luz Tobon in Mexico City. And Luz Tobon is, the law of attraction in the universe. Luz Tobon is expert in Mexican migration law. So she was the one for a visa expiration issue. So I called her and I told her, hey, she answered me immediately because I met her past year in Mexico. And, Marco, I can guess there is an emergency somewhere. Yes, it was midnight in Mexico. It was midnight in Sunday morning, midnight on Sunday. Also for Luz. Yes, there is. Please, and that and that and that. Yes, okay, Marco. I'm dressing up. I'm going to the police department. Not even speaking about the fees. Of course, we spoke about the fees, but later on, it was not the focus. As a lawyer in that moment. So this Israeli was released. He could flew safely back to Israel with no records. With most important, no records on his passport. And at the end, this story raised in the death of night in Mexico, in the death of Mexican night, like mine in Turkey. This story also raised up in Mexico in the death of night and. Was solved by a lawyer. What's the name? What's the English for Luz? Luz is the name of this lawyer.
Wow.
Well, Luz means light in English. So light came in the night of this Israeli citizen.
Two amazing stories there.
Yeah, it's amazing. Then more business stories. An Italian company called me because they needed to hire a Filipino employee in Manila urgently for some issues there. So I called Daniel Doligon from Manila. And actually in my 5 in the morning and 12 in the afternoon in Manila, then we had 2 fixed calls with them. One in the 5 in the morning, Central European summertime, and then at 12 in the same day. So we played with 7 hours difference, So this Italian company had their employment contract signed in a couple of days. And also another time, an Italian company needed to buy some machinery in Turkey very urgently because, this machinery was available for a few days at that price. So the Italian company needed to draft and to draft a contract to be signed, but according to the Turkish laws, regulations. So Begum Mermerolu from Ankara solved also this issue, and it was amazing. Yeah,
brilliant. I mean, the stories you just illustrated, Marco, are fantastic, and they clearly show the power of how WIL works and how having a global network of lawyers is just incredible. Power and also the flexibility of getting the job done quickly and efficiently. So it's brilliant, really good. Just before we close, I mean, it's been a pleasure to have you on the show. In the interest of other lawyers who may be interested in joining Will globally, because obviously this is a global audience, how can they get hold of you? Just a couple of minutes to how obviously the listeners can get hold of you.
Yes, sure. Thank you for this, Alessandro. Actually, we'll have in a few weeks a website and specific Will contacts. For now, you can reach me out at my email. It's avv.marcobuscema@gmail.com. So
fantastic.
For now,
if anyone makes direct contact, obviously, if anyone makes direct contact with myself, Marco, I will put them in touch with you. So it's fantastic. Okay. Really good.
Thank you very much.
You're doing an amazing thing, and I think lawyers around the world, once they learn more about this scheme, it's just brilliant. So I can't thank you enough on behalf of everybody, and I thank you again for being on the show. Brilliant. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Alessandro. Thank you for joining yourself, Will, and for the next sharing. Thank you very much.
Absolutely. Thank you. Take care, Marco. Thank you.
Thank you. For
more information on our services across Haywards Heath and Mid Sussex, visit our website at mulcairjenkins.co.uk.
Just a true thank you to Marco who came on the show today. I mean, such a powerful network that has been created here of lawyers globally, and the stories really illustrate the speed and the efficiency that where you have that one client that you are unable to help, there is a global network out there of lawyers that are ready at a drop of a hat to assist you. It's just a brilliant concept, and as I said, I'll be working with Marco in the up and coming months. And we will be feeding back on the Late Night Lawyer Show on how this concept works. If any lawyers listening would like more information, then please contact myself as well. And we'll be feeding back on how this incredible development moves over the course of the years to come. It's phenomenal. It's very exciting for myself as a lawyer, and I'm sure all the other lawyers involved. So absolutely brilliant. Should be a massive proud moment for Marco in achieving this. It's brilliant.
Mancini Legal presents The Late Night Lawyer, transmitted across the airwaves on your social media channels and podcasts. We are The Late Night Lawyer.
So a massive thank you to Marco for being on the show today. Absolutely brilliant interview, truly inspiring as to what he's achieved and his vision really for lawyers around the world. It's fantastic. I'm going to hope to get Marco back on over the course of the next few months, just to get updates on how Will is developing and how his networking opportunities are developing globally. So fantastic. And I will get him back on the show because it's just an inspiration to have him on this show and constantly learning about what he's doing. Okay, closing song for tonight, ladies and gentlemen. I want you all to keep safe as always. Ali Sherlock, A Million Years Ago. It's a short song. It's a cut down version of the cover, but incredible. I hope you'll enjoy it. Keep safe, and we will see you at the weekend for the weekend edition of The Late Night Lawyer. Take care.
I only wanted to have fun, longing to fly, learning to run. I let my heart decide the way when I was young. Deep down, I must have always known that this would be inevitable. And bare my soul. flashing by, and all I can do is watch and cry. I miss the air, I miss my friends, I miss my mother, miss the way life was a party to be thrown. That was a million years ago.